there before she had kids, and her oldest is 6.5. Okay, sorry.
This is how
You gotta love Facebook.
old people do math. Well, it was back when I was in sixth grade. She finally had a kid, and
Yeah, it's pretty much, was I pregnant when that happened, or how many children did I have? And then I can figure out what year it was. Because
that's
at least I
hilarious.
remember which year I had my kids. Mostly. I mean, I have to start in order, otherwise I can't get all their birthdays right.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to Creating Connections podcast, episode 43. Thank you for joining us. And Vickie, you have some topics for today?
I do. I've been thinking a lot about the difference between resolutions, goals, and habits.
Okay.
And obviously, with 2015 winding down and people getting ready for New Year's, the topic of resolutions and goals comes up a lot. And I just thought that would be a really good thing for us to talk about today.
Okay, so I guess...
In my mind, I see them as very different things.
I do too.
Yeah.
So are they resolutions or what's the deal?
Well, New Year's resolutions is the phrase I think that you hear traditionally, but those don't ever seem to work, at least not normally. Because,
Right.
I mean, to me, that when I hear a resolution, it's I'm always going to do this, or I'm going to do this every single day, or I'm going to stop doing this, and, and I'm always and never. And those just don't seem to stick most of the time.
Yeah, always and never.
One time I can remember, I made a resolution, but I worded it very carefully so that I could be successful.
You worded it very carefully, so the bar was set really low.
Okay. No, it was when I was managing the wedding photography at the Pepper Mill.
Okay.
And I had to park on the 5th floor. And no, you parked. I don't know. There was two flights of stairs between where I parked and where I had to get off to go.
All right.
And so I decided that my resolution was going to be I would always take the stairs instead of the elevator, but only if my heels were 3 inches or higher, or 3 inches or lower. If I had 3 or higher, then I would take the elevator, and that would be okay.
Really? We're making resolutions based on how high our heels are.
Yeah.
Folks, you can only get this here, really.
I can't make this stuff up.
I'm sure you can't make this stuff up. I fully believe that you are being truthful on this.
I don't think I've ever said it out loud, and I don't realize how funny it was going to sound. I'm crying right now.
You're crying right now? Oh my gosh. Well... All right, so
resolutions tend to be always or never, and they tend to just not be very effective. And so I think that's why a lot of people, especially in professional circles, have made the shift to talk about your goals and setting your goals for the new year and setting SMART goals. And you want to talk about SMART goals?
Yeah, we could talk about SMART goals if you want.
I mean, I think most people are familiar with that acronym, but just in case.
Yeah, I think most people are familiar with the acronym, but to me, the SMART acronym is specific. Is it something specific that you are actually going to commit to? It can't be something that doesn't have
It can't be too vague.
Yeah, it can't be too vague. It has to be something that is measurable, which is the M, of course. Haha, like that transition. So how are you going to know when you've got to your goal? How is it measurable? And then is it really achievable? I mean...
Is it realistic?
Yeah.
But that doesn't start with an A.
No, it doesn't. But the next one does. And is it relevant to what you want to do? Mm-hmm. Does it fit into your life goal? Does it fit into your business goals? For me to say, I'm going to backpack across Europe, it's not really relevant to what I want to do right now. It might be for the future, but it's not right now.
That belongs on a bucket list, not a goal list, maybe. I don't know.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then finally, it has to be timed, time bound. It has to be, some measure that when you're going to achieve this by.
Yeah.
That's a big thing too. So specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. That is the acronym for a SMART goal. I think that it's important for us to set goals. I'm a firm believer on setting at least 1 to probably 2 to 3 at max big goals for the year. And after that, for example, last year one of my goals was to become a Gitomer certified advisor. We pulled that off. We achieved it. One of my other goals was to write a book. I pulled it off. I achieved it.
Okay, so speaking of that, last year when I did this process, my goal was to write 2 books in 2015, and I did that, but it wasn't the same 2 that I planned on writing. Does that still count?
I would say so.
Because I had a shift after the first one came out in August, and that's when we wrote our second one. So my other one that I was supposed to write this fall got pushed out.
Well, so here's the other thing in regards to that. I think it's a case of you're always measuring, right? Mm-hmm. You're always going back and reevaluating your goals.
Yes.
Do they fit where you want to be? It's like people that create a business plan and just let it sit in the drawer and never look at it again.
Yes, and sometimes you don't know. Well, you don't know what you don't know until you don't know it. I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I didn't know how this year was going to go. And so I made a goal at the beginning of the year, and I guess it was realistic and achievable and attainable and all those other things. It just turned out different.
Attainable is not one of the A's.
Well, it wasn't the way you said it, but
specific,
achievable,
measurable,
and
achievable, relevant. Okay, well, yeah.
That's okay. You can be right today.
Today? Okay.
Today. It's
awesome.
Your turn.
So the thing is, have 1 to 3.
Yeah.
But let's look at the big picture. So your big picture, you've got 1 to 3 that you're trying to figure out what it's going to be. All right? Then decide, okay, I've got some big rocks, if you will. Stephen Covey talks about the habits as big rocks. Mm-hmm. Another great book I was just turned on to not that long ago, Traction.
Yes.
I think we talked about that. So I'm reading this book.
I haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I'm in the process of reading this book, and I definitely will have this book completed by the end of my Anguilla vacation upcoming. I promise that.
Okay.
That's a goal I've set, is to get some more books cranked out that I plan on reading in Anguilla and knocking out, because I'll have some time to actually pleasure read. Well, I read business books for pleasure.
I wasn't going to comment, but that's like vacations, I guess.
Yeah, it's just, I'm a workaholic.
No, you are.
Hi, I'm Mitch Taylor, and I'm a workaholic. I'm sorry, wrong meeting. But anyway, have a couple to 3 of those big rocks, if you will, that you're going to work on. That will also, those big rocks you're working on will also lead up to that big goal, whatever that might be. So the thing is, you have these, people make resolutions. It's not going to get you anywhere. Habits.
Setting a goal and then making the habits that you need to get there.
Habits.
And that's where I struggle. And that's, I think, why I wanted to bring that into this
well,
episode too.
If you get out of bed before 9 in the morning, you might be able to get some more things done. I'm just saying. You
should not be allowed to mock my sleep habits as long as I'm not in bed for more than 8 hours. Just because I messaged you before I went to bed and you were already up for the day, that's not my fault.
This is the problem of having
too early.
A business partner who is 3 hours on the opposite time zone of you. So.
But really, it's because mentally I live in Hawaii, so I'm actually more like 5 hours different.
Well, tell David Lewis he said hello.
Yes. Hi, Dave.
Hi, Lupe. But no, we encourage you.
It's be 5 degrees for them tomorrow.
Yeah, it's not.
5.
So don't make resolutions. This isn't about making resolutions. Lay out a chart. Write down specifically. Remember, specific, measurable, attainable, Or is that what you said? That's what you said. That was your A. Gosh. I did that on purpose.
Of course you did.
Relevant and time bound. Yeah, it's not attainable. It's achievable or achievement. Yeah. But make sure you write that down, those 1 to 3 goals, and then have some smaller goals, some steps that you will take to get to that goal. And then create habits that will help you get to those big rocks. For example, I'm working on a project right now, and that rock, my due date is actually before we go to Tampa, upcoming on January 25th. I want to have this ready to go by. So that's my rock. I set that date. It's a very measurable date, and it's time bound, and it's relevant, and it is achievable, but it's going to take me really cranking out the habit of every day working on things I have to do to be able to have it ready for that date. Yeah. So again, specific. It isn't specific. So make sure you're building towards your big goals with some rocks that you're moving each few months, if you will, each quarter. That's an important thing. Any other advice on New Year's resolutions or goals or habits?
I think, and this is just me being the personality trainer.
Yeah.
That different personalities approach goals differently. And, for the Reds, it's really natural to say, okay, Reds are goal driven. This is what I want to do. This is how I need to get there. And, and others are not. And I think that's why I struggle, because I'm so half red, half yellow, that I can see the goals, but then it's like my yellow side takes over and I get distracted. Or
I like a puppy.
I have a puppy. That's how I got a puppy. I blinked and my kids put together a PowerPoint presentation and convinced us to get a puppy, and we got one. So
nice. Yeah,
you can't argue with a 12-year-old that puts together a PowerPoint like that. I mean, it was pretty convincing.
She did a good job.
She did. Puppy. But it's having the discipline and having the habits to get where I need to go. And for me, that means having my board right above my desk where I see every day what I'm supposed to be doing.
Absolutely.
And my to-do list actually is very different, I think, than a typical to-do list. Have I ever shown you my calendar?
I don't know.
That I have? So because I have 3 totally separate businesses and just kind of a crazy life, I try to kind of compartmentalize certain things on certain days of the week. And so when I find myself going, okay, I've got 1 hour between now and my next appointment, how am I going to fill it? I look and say, oh, okay, it's Tuesday. That's my trivia day. I need to be checking in on this, this, and this. And if I'm trying to set trivia appointments, checking with my staff or whatever, I try to stack those on Tuesdays. Wednesday is my wedding day. And so if I'm, that's when my main wedding networking meetings happen to fall, which is why I picked that. Besides, I like that it started with a W and it was easy for me to remember and it looks cute on my calendar.
Oh, boy.
And there's other things that are important to me because I'm yellow. Stop.
Okay, so we covered the red and yellow side of this. What about a blue and a green?
Okay, greens tend to, they need the prize. They need the most help in setting a goal, and they need like little rewards along the way. They're also, I think all of us need accountability people in our lives, but like greens really need them to make them happen, because greens tend to be the hardest ones to get motivated. And so if you're a green, you really need to find that person to help you, and then set small goals along the way. Reward yourself. Okay, if I finish this step, then I get to do this. Or, okay, and then I'll get to do this next step. And if I reach my goal by this day, then celebrate, plan something. And I think that's good for everybody, but I don't know, the greens and the yellows too, like that left side of the chart, we really need that even more, those little goals along the way. Blues tend to be the perfectionists, so they're like the reds, they're task-oriented, so they tend to be able to see where they want to go, but their biggest challenge is getting caught up in the details. And so sometimes they'll push off the deadline because things weren't quite perfect enough or something in the process came up. And what?
I'm just chuckling.
Yeah, well.
I can think of a real world scenario that's happening right about now that's very similar to that.
That you want to share?
No.
Or no? Okay, I'm glad you can relate. But yeah, Blues want things to be perfect. And so they'll set their goal, but then if something else in the process comes up and they need to do more research or takes them in a new direction, the timeline will get pushed out even more often. Yeah. And so again, it's, I don't know, part of it's just knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. And we've talked about this a lot. Every personality has them.
Yes, they do.
And finding the people in your life to surround yourself with that will help you bring out the best in you by minimizing those strengths and you know, minimizing your weaknesses by using their strengths to complement, and then helping you do what you're best at. Because if you're setting goals that are just totally not in your skill set, if they don't, you know, if you work alone and you have to learn, that's one thing. But if there are things that you can be doing smarter that are going to make more sense by delegating differently or making some things a team effort, you know, just utilizing the strengths and weaknesses of those around you.
I think it's important that you inform someone of your goals. You have some way to be held accountable. Yes. And you have help along the way. Don't feel like you have to do this all alone. Figure out someone, whether it's a personal trainer if you're trying to lose weight, whether it is a business partner who will hold you accountable to achieve certain things, whether it's what?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
A business partner who will make you work through Christmas?
I never made you work through Christmas. Oh my goodness. Vickie and I have certain things we're trying to get done as well for business. So we've been working around the clock a little bit as of late. But no, having someone to help hold you accountable is key. Very important. This is episode 43. I'm Gitomer Certified Advisor Mitch Taylor.
And I'm Certified Personality Trainer Vickie Musni.
Come see us in Tampa upcoming on Monday, January 25th. It's going to be a great session.
I'm really excited about what we're creating for that. It's going to be fun.
Yes, we have lots to go over for that, and I think it's going to be amazing. I really do. And I'm very excited. So if you are anywhere near, if you're in Florida, period, seriously, if you're in Florida, period.
Or Georgia.
Well, yeah, I mean, however you can get to Tampa, get to the ADJA chapter meeting at Safety Harbor Resort and Spa in Tampa on Monday, January 25th. We're cranking out 3 hours worth of content to help you create better connections in your sales and in other facets of your business and your life, for that matter. Yeah. So join us for that.
It'll be fun.
We're also going to be coming up in Phoenix, right?
Yes, Phoenix. We have Tuesday night with the ADJA, which is February the 9th.
9th, yep.
And then Thursday will be with Event Ensemble in the morning, and then a personality workshop after that.
Awesome. And then also I'll be speaking at the Minneapolis NACE chapter coming up on
a couple days later.
Yep, Monday, February 15th. And that's going to be a great session as well. So if you're in the Twin Cities, might want to stop by and check that out for the Minneapolis Winter Conference. I'll be the keynote morning seminar for that. Thank you for checking out Creating Connections episode 43. You can visit our website, mitchtaylor.net is mine.
Or VickieMusni.com.
For more information, and we will see you very soon. Happy New Year.
Take care.